Another 10 questions on your PMI-ACP exam preparation. I am focusing on product domain. Product domain has 4 tasks. All these tasks are pretty interconnected, though we will try to map these questions on an individual task as well. Since we have already covered 90 questions before, so I'm starting with question number 91. A financial service company is developing a mobile banking application to improve customer experience and provide essential banking services via mobile, ensuring easy access to the most frequently used banking facilities. Okay, the product owner and the development team are conducting a backlog refinement session to decide which features should be included in the first release. During this discussion, 4 key features are proposed, which 2 features should be prioritized for the first release. So this question required little bit of judgment because it is listing out 4 features and you need to pick up 2 features which you want to propose as the first release thing. If you face these kind of question, you need to be very clear about the goal of the application. So you understand it's a mobile banking application and they are looking for improving customer experience by providing essential banking services with the help of mobile. So any features out of 4 which are focusing on essential part of it, we need to pick it. Yes, essential is a judgment, but you should be able to do elimination and find out which 2 may win in this particular situation. Let's see. Option A, account balance. Allow user to view their real-time account balance and the recent transactions. Seems to be frequently used. Let's see. Managing utility bills. Provide functionality for user to pay utility bills and schedule recurring payment. Not necessarily everybody uses that, but yes, probable a thing, but let's see. Fund transfer, enable customer to transfer money between accounts within the same bank or to the other bank. Yeah, that seems to be the case. So I do believe if I'm using my phone banking app, most likely I will see my balance and I want to use it for account transfer. So for me, if I have to compare peer-to-peer comparison, I think out of 3, I want to see take A and C. Let's see about option D. Download last year's transaction. Allow user to download their past transactions history for up to a year. So special focus on a 1 year. Maybe with the mobile access, I am good with taking care of last run transactions only. I don't need the 1 year history. So I think I need to choose between A, B, and C. And I understand that B is focusing on utility bill, which may be an important feature, but may not be accessed by good percentage of my target audience. So some amount of judgment, there is no yes and no because it all depends upon stakeholder feedback and interaction. But by looking at these 4 options, if I have to select, I will select A and C because these 2 looks frequently used features and they seems to be the essential part of any mobile banking application. So I will go with option A and C because I have to choose 2. Now this question can be mapped to task 2, manage product increments of your product domain. Question number 92. A financial service company is developing a mobile banking application and need to prioritize features. Okay, something same. Yeah. The product owner and the development team are conducting a backlog refinement session where they analyzed each feature estimated, development cost, expected monthly revenue, and the time required to build it. Okay, so it is becoming little factual. The company is making a prioritization decision in January and will only consider the ROI of the current calendar year, January to December, 12 months. Your team alone will be working on the selected features. Which feature should be prioritized for the development? I need to choose the first one. So in a simple word, this question is asking that I need to pick up a 1 feature out of 4 and I need to do some kind of ROI calculation for that because consider the ROI for current financial year. So I need to find out return on investment based on the current financial year, current calendar year, January to December. And there are some information given related to the cost, development duration, and expected monthly benefit of the feature. So we have an instant money transfer focusing on 60,000 as a development expense, 4 months of development and expected monetary benefits of 12,000. Similarly, we have other information. Utility bills are coming as a cost is there, duration of development is there, expected monthly expenses is also there. So if I have to calculate returns, because I have a cost given, I need to calculate return. And based on the return, I can find out the ROI. First, I need to calculate the return, and I can divide the return by the investment so that I can figure it out. So how do I calculate return? So I need two information: development cost and expected revenue. The next thing is development cost is directly given. Expected revenue is something need to be calculated. So expected revenue is also given. Monthly expected revenue is given. Now it is also given that 12 month is the overall estimated duration which you have to use for calculation. Now, one thing which is tricky here is if you directly start multiplying 12 months with the expected monthly return and say that first option, I have a 60,000 of investment. And if I am saying that 12,000 I will get per month and I multiply by 12, then I'm doing wrong. Yeah. I'm not calculating it right because I'm missing the essential information that this thing will take 4 months to develop. Even if I prioritize it now, after 4 months, only the benefits will come. So I need to choose 8 months only when I'm calculating this particular return. If I get that, this is the easy calculation which I can do. So let's see, I have done a calculation for you, which is pretty much clear. So you have a development expenses, you have a development time, you have a monthly benefit. So total benefit, the 12 minus development time multiplied by monthly benefit. Yeah, that's the important thing which I need to focus on. Once I do that, then I take it forward. That's the only thing which I need to keep in mind. So I calculated the total benefit for each feature by doing that formula. And then I need to find out returns. Returns is a development cost minus the total benefit which we are expecting. All the features has a positive returns, and I can calculate the ROI. If I do a mistake and I just take a 12-month for calculating the benefits, then probably the option A and C will come close and I may not be able to choose it. But if I take appropriately these numbers and understanding, then option C is clear winner in this particular situation. Yeah. So it is more or less application of WSGF, which you have heard as a name in your PMI-ACP exam content, which you get from PMI. But here we are just focusing on what is the return, what is the time duration it takes to develop a value, and how do we calculate the ROI so that we can prioritize the feature. In this particular case, option C comes up with the right calculation. Yeah. So that was your question number 92, and it is mapped to manage increments, task 2 of your product. Question number 93. An e-commerce company is developing a new online marketplace. The development team has completed the first increment, which includes product listing, search functionality, and a basic checkout process. Okay. So this is something looks like the first increment is ready. Given the highly dynamic nature of the market, the product manager is questioning whether stakeholder input on prioritization truly align with the real market need. Okay. To ensure that future development effort focuses on what delivers the most value, the product manager must choose the best approach to validate prioritization decision and guide the future work. Yeah. So what seems to be given in the question is that you have a one increment ready, which has some amount of content, search, listing, and few other stuff. Now, as a product owner, product manager is worried about, are we doing right? Yeah. And as of now, the question indicates the product manager might be interacting with the stakeholder while doing this particular thing. So which of the following is the best way to validate prioritization decision and get the direction? That's the important question, that how do I validate my prioritization? That's the last part. So I need to see as a feedback tool, which helps me in prioritizing my product backlog, right? Let's see options. Option A, engage key stakeholders in a meeting to reconfirm their priorities and ensure alignment with business goals. Not at all a bad idea. You should be doing it. But it is more about the issue here is, what if the stakeholders are giving me wrong information? Are they know what is needed? So asking stakeholder is a good idea, but can I go to the real users rather than stakeholders? If I get an option, I will go with that, but this is a candidate option. I can reconfirm their judgment about the priority. Option B, conduct early user testing and collect customer feedback on the first iteration. Looks great. Yeah, this is something you are directly reaching to the end customer. You can use the term MVP or something which focuses on that, give the deliverable to the end user so they can process it, understand it, and probably we can make the right decisions about it. So that seems to be a good choice there. Option C, benchmark against competitor and industry leader to determine which feature should be developed next. A possible, But do you want to copy your competitor or want to listen to what your users might be giving you as a feedback? Yeah. So in general, again, it may depend upon the context. The assumption here is that you have a product which can be used by the end customer. That's something which the option B is saying you have an MVP ready. So if I have an MVP ready, better I go with the MVP and validate my hypothesis rather than I keep doing benchmarking. So option B still looks good. Option D, conduct extensive testing of completed work to ensure it meets the definition of done. That is easy to ignore. Yeah, sometimes you think, this is a right option as well, but that's a easy to ignore because it is only focusing on your project team. When you want to validate your priorities, it is not about the output, it is about the outcome. Yeah, so that is easy to ignore. You need to find out of above A, B, C, and B seems to be the right choice because it is focusing on the end user and customer based feedbacks. So this can be mapped to your manage value delivery, the task 4 of your product domain for PMI-ACP. Question number 94. An e-commerce company recently added the first version of its online marketplace featuring product listing, search functionality, and basic checkout process. Seems to be extension of the same thing which we discussed before. Since the release, the product owner has received mixed feedback. While traffic to the platform is growing steadily, many users are abandoning their cart before completing the purchase. Additionally, some customers have reported difficulty finding relevant product using search features. To determine which issues are impacting conversion and the most and validate whether the implemented features are meeting customer expectation, the product owner need to select the most relevant metrics to track. Yeah. Which of the following metrics would be the most effective to validate the product owner's hypothesis? Okay. So I want to do something. I want to improve this situation where my people are abandoning the checkout process. They are complaining about search and finding the product as well. But after when I'm doing few things, I want to track some metrics which can help me in identifying how do I improve in this particular situation. Yeah. So I need to determine which issues are impacting conversion the most and validate whether the implemented features are meeting customer expectation by way of improving it. Some of the metrics should be used. So let's see what are the possible metrics. Option A, cart abandonment rate, measure the percentage of user who added the item in the cart but do not complete the purchase. A good metrics, which is coming from the end user perspective. Number of total transaction completed, track the absolute number of purchase made on the platform. So say purchase is a good metrics, sales is a good metrics, no doubt about it. But the problem is people are dropping in between. So if they're proceeding, yeah, then only they will reach to the payment. So when I focus on the cart related thing, I understand the real purchase because we are not abandoning it after the cart is added. And I also understand how many people are adding and not purchasing it. So option A gives me a better information and it gives me information which is before the purchase is happening. Yeah. So that still out of A and B, I will go with A. Option C, page load time metrics measure how quickly the pages are loading. So page load could be a matrix, especially for technical search engine optimization, for technical conformance requirement. That's a good matrix, but it is not something which is helping me to find out are we doing the right thing to improve our checkout process and reducing this rate of people not finishing the checkout process. Yeah, so C looks like little SEO oriented or performance oriented metrics. Option D, Google search performance metrics tracks how well the platform rank in search engine results and volume of the traffic from search engine. So SEMrush kind of metrics. Yes, it is a metrics to see the visibility of our website. Yeah, people coming to it, but it has less to do with how the conversion is happening, but not a bad metrics. Yeah, not a bad metrics because this could be one of the source. Yeah, search is a one of the source which might be bringing people and then you might be taking it forward. So the A includes B, so that way it's good. The C is little technical in nature. Yeah. D is before A also. D is something which comes before A, but the problem is not about the number of visitors coming in. Because the question says, while traffic on the platform is rising, and I need to figure it out why the traffic is not converting into purchase. Yeah, that is my consideration. So because of that, I'm not focusing on D much, because the problem of the question is making the experience so that people purchase. Well, looking at all these options, I go with option A. Now, in this kind of question, we do need to apply our judgment. There is some amount of information given in the question. We should be adding minimum assumptions, but yes, sometimes we are confused. We can go back to question and try to see what all assumption we are adding, which may not be given correctly in the question. So product, task 4, manage value delivery. That something is your mapping for the exam content outline for PMI ACP. Question number 95. A software company has launched an updated version of its customer-facing platform, introducing several new features. The product owner is monitoring product performance and user experience post-release. Okay, something we have released and we are looking at how it is performing in the market. Since the update, the team has observed the following challenges. Customers are reporting frustration with the slow feature rollout and delayed improvements. Okay. Though the question started with that you are focusing on monitoring the product performance, but the issues which are getting reported to the team is frustration over slow features rollout. There is an uncertainty about whether feature delivery speed is impacting overall customer satisfaction. So this might be linked to the customer satisfaction as well, but this is something is creating. Yeah. Okay, so to address this concern, the product owner need to track the most relevant metrics that will provide insight into how quickly features are being delivered and whether delay are occurring in the development process. Yeah. Which of the following metrics would be the most efficient in addressing this issue? So I would say that question is a little mixed up. Yeah, it is first talking about the monitoring of product performance, then it went into talking about delay in the feature, then it went into maybe the delay is impacting the delivery, and afterward, finally it says, which of the following can help you in tracking the speed of delivery and may also help you in debugging how much time it is taking for development duration. Yeah, so that the development is becoming the bottleneck. Is that the question? Yeah. So let's see the option. Burn down chart. Burn down chart is a overall thing which helps you in progressing, how you are progressing in a given release, and are you meeting the release goals. So it gives some amount of timeline, but not necessarily focusing on a particular features timeline. Yeah, that way. Feature cycle time. Feature cycle time along with feature lead time could have been a better option. Feature lead time can help me in understanding how quickly we are delivering the feature end to end. A feature cycle time can help me in understanding how long the feature is taking in the development process. Yeah, but I think it's a decent option matching with the question. Net promoter score, it's more about survey based thing, which is talking about how likely our customers are going to recommend us somewhere else. Not much directly connected to the feature speed. It is definitely connected to the user satisfaction, but not tracking the metrics that will help us in identifying how quickly the features are being delivered. So that is not relevant. Sprint velocity. Sprint velocity is more or less like a burn down chart in a way. I would say that it talks about how we are finishing things. In a way, it represents something. Maybe good for forecasting our releases. Yeah, that can be done, but not necessarily useful for identifying how long this feature is taking to finish the overall development flow. So looking at the options available, I go with B, which is a feature cycle time, because it helps us in tracking the time it takes in the development. Question number 96. A software development team is working on a new feature for an e-commerce platform, including enhancing order tracking, streamlining the checkout process, and AI-powered product recommendation. During the sprint review, product owner and stakeholder raised the following concerns. Lack of visibility into the progress of different features. Okay. Development bottlenecks causing delay in feature completion. So probably a lead time is getting delayed because of bottleneck. That something is coming in. Challenges in tracking work across multiple teams working in parallel. So, okay, the features are developed probably by multiple teams. To enhance transparency and optimization workflow efficiency, the team decided to implement a visualization technique to improve progress, identify bottlenecks, and improve coordination. Okay, which of the following visualization should be most efficient in addressing these concerns? So we are focusing on visualization. We are focusing on understanding bottleneck causing delays. Yeah, so Kanban board, definitely a good option. It is helping you to see where we are right now, though the Kanban board does not necessarily show you the trend over a period of time, but it helps you in identifying the bottleneck. It helps you in doing pull communication, which can help you in doing coordination with the teams which are working in parallel. It can definitely show where the feature is at given point in time. So this looks good. Feature burn down chart. So it can help me in understanding how where we are on a given feature, assuming I'm preparing a burn down chart by saying the feature has a multiple user story, how many user stories are completed and how much is left. Yeah, so that is there, but it is not necessarily help me in visualizing the bottlenecks, and it may not help me in coordinating with the parallel team. And though I can see a completion date idea, but not necessarily the other things can taken care. Option C, feature lead time. Feature lead time can help me in tracking the overall efficiency of the process end to end. Some way it is a number. Yeah, it may not be showing me the bottlenecks. The increase in a feature lead time does mean there are bottlenecks, but it won't be able to show me where the bottlenecks are. Yeah, velocity is the sum total of story points you are finishing in a given iteration. It definitely helps us in saying that how we are progressing towards our release goal, but cannot help me in taking care of rest of the visualization goals. So in this particular case, I can go with option A, which is Kanban board. Now, this question is also focusing on task 2, visualization of the work of your product domain. Question number 97. An e-commerce company has been developing a new online shopping experience, and the team has completed 3 major releases over past few months. These releases have introduced enhanced product search and filter option, a streamlined checkout process, improved order tracking and notification. Okay. With several new features implemented, the product owner now wants to evaluate the success of past work and determine whether these updates have had a positive impact on business and user experience. Which of the following metrics would be the best for evaluating the success of past releases? Yeah. So again, a matrix, we need to find out the success matrix here, a success part of the matrix. Deployment frequency, measuring how often new features and updates are released. It could be a success for the development team if they are releasing products fast, but it cannot be a measurement of a success necessarily for the product owner, because releasing fast, but if the releases are not making money, then success is question marked. Yeah. So let's see. Sprint velocity, measuring how many stories, points, and development team has completed per sprints. It could be understanding to see how well we are chasing our target, how predictable we are. It could be some measurement point for Scrum Master and team, but not for the product owner. Product owner having a stable sprint velocity helps him in forecasting the release, but not necessarily understanding how customers are responding to the product. Yeah, it is a planning success, probably if you have a stable sprint velocity, but nothing more than that. Conversion rate, track the percentage of visitor who complete a purchase after interacting with the new features. Definitely a great idea. That's there. Feature burndown chart shows the number of completed features versus pending items in the backlog. Yeah, so you can say story burndown, feature burndown, or inside the feature burndown chart. Whatever it is not necessarily focusing on the end customer. So in general, this is the easy question, provided you can differentiate which matrices are outcome or result or the end user oriented, and which all matrices are internal planning and flow oriented. Yeah, I can use that word. So A, B, and D are something around flow, whereas a C is more about the outcome. Yeah, that's how you choose the option C, and that's the right answer. This can be mapped to manage value delivery. Question number 98. A product owner is preparing a product roadmap for an e-commerce company planning to roll out new features over next 12 months. The company aims to improve customer engagement, streamlining order processing, and expand into new market. To create an effective, realistic product roadmap, the product owner should consider which of the following factors. In a simple word, this question is asking, what are the inputs or the factors can be used when you are preparing a product roadmap? That's it. Yeah. So Let's see. Option A, customer expectation and business goals. Overall vision is a good idea. Team performance, maybe. Rather than team performance, I need to have a team forecasted velocity or capacity, yeah, which is available. Pure performance word is little tricky, but let's see if we don't get anything else. And product architecture, roadmap architecture, possible some kind of technological architecture may influence the roadmap, but not usually. Let's see. Yeah, so the team performance and product architecture, maybe, but the customer expectation and business goals definitely make sense. Let's see option B. Dependencies between features should be, because we may do a user journey map and try to understand which feature should be feeding to other. That probably will help us in creating the roadmap. Yes. Market events and rhythms. So what is happening in the external environment factors? What are the events happening? Maybe launches, competitor launches, and trade shows, those kind of things. Rhythm, is there any time when the people are purchasing more from the e-commerce? Like you have a December where e-commerce sites are used more frequently. So that makes little sense when you are focusing on roadmap. And capacity planning, usually, yes. Yeah. When you even don't know which team will work with you, you probably need to think which particular, how much capacity we can deploy to this product so that I can make a roadmap. So B has all the relevant points. Yeah. Let's see option C. Number of features in the backlog. For a roadmap, you don't have to finish the whole backlog. So you need to start from a goal rather than starting into a backlog, but still, individual developer preference, yeah, you can ignore that. Yeah. So we don't have to read the remaining thing. Option D, past sprint velocity, maybe as a forecasted thing can be used. Stakeholder preference, maybe, yeah, maybe. Preference is definitely is needed from a business goal, just not a stakeholder preference, but it's an input. And feature complexity, I may want to prioritize some features based on complexity, but not necessarily always the reason for doing the roadmap. So again, I need to do comparison. I can't say black and white. And looking at this, the option B looks good to me because it focuses on understanding the interdependency between features, that thing. And usually that plays a role, but market event rhythm and capacity planning is something which is an essential input for your roadmap. Capacity planning could be estimated velocity for a given team. So those two play always a role, and understanding the interconnectionship with the feature is not a bad idea. So looking at comparing and eliminating, I go with option B. Yeah. So this is task 2, manage increments. Question number 99. A product owner is preparing for a major release for an e-commerce platform that includes enhanced product search, optimized checkout, and personalized product recommendations. The team follows an agile approach, and the product owner needs to ensure that release is well planned and aligned with business goals, customer needs, and development capacity. To plan the release effectively, the product owner should consider which of the following factors. Yeah. So in a simplistic word, I am doing a release planning. Yeah. And I need to find out which of the inputs or the factors I should consider while I am doing the release planning. I can ignore the noise of e-commerce, this, that, but I'm doing a release planning. That's very obvious. So what should I consider? Option A, market launch deadlines may make sense. Yeah, it's an overall goal. Stakeholder expectation, yes. And competitive features benchmarking, all this will be a prioritized backlog. Yeah, in a simple words, that's something can be seen. Let's see option B. Number of completed backlog items, sprint velocity, and developers workload. Past completed item can help me in forecasting velocity, but yeah. Option C, prioritized high value features. Option A is included in option C in a just one word. Yeah. Team velocity estimation. This more or less takes care of the important pointers which were there in option B. Yeah, team velocity is coming here, estimated team velocity, and dependency management. Looks good. Yeah, it has everything. Yeah. Option D, the frequency of stakeholder meeting, historical bug resolution rate, and UI UX improvement. Doesn't make much sense. So we can easily go with, I need to have, actually, if I have to consider things very clearly, I need to have a prioritized estimated backlog. which tells me what all will go into release. I need to have a release goal and prioritized estimated backlog, which tells me what all will be needed in order to achieve a release goal estimated. Then I need to have an estimated velocity. I need to also understand the interconnectionship between various items which are there, because it will impact my overall release planning. And based on that, I can do the release planning. Yeah. The dependency becomes more important if we have a multiple teams working on a given release. But if you have a one team, the sequence of activities, still dependency understanding might be needed, because it helps you in doing a prioritization as well. But minimum, I need a prioritized estimated backlog for a given release, and I need to have a forecasted velocity or estimated velocity. So looking at this, I go with option C. Question number 100. Yeah. An e-commerce startup is preparing to launch its minimum viable product for an online marketplace. The goal for the MVP is to validate business idea, attract early adapters, and gather feedback for future iterations. Looks good. The product owner and the team must decide which set of features to include in the first release, ensuring the MVP provides core functionality and remaining lean and efficient. Which set of features should be included in the MVP? So more or less, identification and prioritization, that's the idea. And we did these kind of questions before as well. So we need to use our judgment. So if we have to prioritize and pick up, we need to read the question again and understand what is the goal. So it's talking about online marketplace. Okay. That's the thing, and nothing much has been given other than online marketplace. So for an online marketplace, what could be the minimum and usually important elements which can help the people to play with the marketplace? Yeah, that is something we need to figure it out. Let's see. Option A, multi-currency support, wish list features, social sharing, product reviews. Yeah. So usually social sharing usually are not that important. Multi-currency support may not be there in a MVP alone. Yeah, actually it depends, but it has something, but doesn't look like a very core functionality, but maybe important one. AI-based recommendation, personalized offer, loyalty program, gift cards. So recommendation, loyalties usually come at a later stage. First, you need to get the customer and then you want to hook them, yeah? Unless your product itself is loyalty. Option C, live chat support, inventory tracking, order analysis, dashboards. Dashboards and analysis usually comes later, usually. Yeah. Option D, product listing, search functionality, checkout process, payment integration. With the very minimum information given in the question, I just need to focus on understanding and make a judgment, which seems to be the basic need. And out of A, B, C, D given, the D talk about the basic listing, searching, and checkout and payment. I need to have a payment before I can have a multi-currency there. So that way, I just go with D, because I need to have a process to check out before I do a social sharing there. I need to have a product list before I write a product review about it. Yeah, reviews and all can come little later. So looking at this mindset, I go with option D, by understanding this is how the product owner should be thinking by identifying the MVP. So this question is also mapped to manage increments. We did the similar question before, but that was relatively easy. Here you have 4 things to choose, but yeah, we need to apply judgment based on seeing the question details. So these were 10 questions for your product delivery domain. If you have any specific query related to PMI-ACP, you can connect with us. If you want to get trained mentor to speed up your PMI-ACP certification journey, you can connect with us. I personally take PMI-ACP program quite often.